What were your experiences during the Cold War?
I'm just going to tell you, anything that happened, black people around me always equated it some kind of way back to equal rights. And they felt that the United States was being a hypocrite, because during that time they weren't really wanting equality. For example, you really didn't have the right to vote. If they had to, there's a law or something on the books that allow it, but there's not a law on the books for anybody else to vote. So even though there was a Cold War, there was also a war at home.
So during the Cold War, did you have any major fears about maybe like the Soviet Union spreading communism anywhere or anything like that?
There may have been black people involved in fighting that fight, but the black people in my life and in my world, that wasn't the fight they were fighting.
Do you remember any particular figures in politics that made you feel that America was secure or insecure?
The first political figure I would say was Martin Luther King, JFK. Even though Martin Luther King wasn't a political movement, it was those two together.
So do you remember anything about nuclear weapons around that time?
I have one uncle. He's dead now. He always had a fear of that. And it was a constant fear for him.
Oh,
but yeah, however, and he was one of my favorite uncles, but it wasn't a constant fear for me. Mm-hmm.
So were there any other people in your life besides your uncle that you saw that were very scared of a nuclear threat?
Mm-hmm. I think our teachers, they were consumed with it.
What do you remember about the assassination of JFK?
I was in the 5th grade, and I think I was 10 years old, and they brought in television sets, and school was just about over for the day, and the people in our whole community was just at a standstill. Mm-hmm. And the reason why was that, as far as I remember, he was for equal rights.
So let's move on to civil rights. So was it difficult growing up with people in the South having prejudice, and what experiences do you have with racism in your life around that time period?
For example, a truck broke down in a city, and certain good people helped them get it fixed, or if a car broke down at night, they'd help them get a tire. You had to get out, because if you didn't, the KKKs would ride at night, and they would lynch you because you weren't allowed out.
That's terrible.
At night. So my parents wouldn't sit and talk to me about education. They would sit and talk to us about how to conduct yourself, how to act so as not to get killed, so as not to get beat, so as not to get, me personally, growing up going to school, the school I went to was 99.9% black. We might have one or two, or maybe 3 at the absolute most in the whole school that were white. Everybody else were black. When we would go to school, we passed schools we would pass white schools to keep going to get to the black schools. We all had to walk. There were school buses, but they weren't for us. I would walk miles. Every day. We would start off like I was almost late every day. But we were in groups. We passed multiple schools, and we went to a school that was called Hairston High. All the black kids graduated from just a few black schools. So we're walking, but of course the kids, they have cars and stuff. They spit on us. They would spit on us, and they would throw objects at us, and we'd be wet with their spit.
So I hate to cut you off, but I think we should move on to MLK.
Okay.
So what did you think about MLK and his messages? And did you agree with his pacifist approach towards social reform?
He was our mouthpiece, or he was our spokesperson. Let me put it like that. and he was educated, and he was presentable, and he was well developed, and he was mannerable, and he had a peaceable movement, because if you go to fight, winning a fight, you really didn't accomplish anything. So then this peace movement was seeming to make a difference. He made such progress to the fact that when he was assassinated, or when he was killed, I should say, man, I tell you, the riots broke out. We weren't safe to be out.
Yeah.
We weren't safe to be out. And so, yeah, he was his message was most acceptable.
So thinking about riots and violence, so like on the other side of MLK, on the other side of the coin, what do you think about Malcolm X and the Black Power movement that was also around that time?
You always have the fighters. You always have somebody that want to get their rights by force, and we didn't support that. We weren't a part of that. We just didn't support that.
So, do you remember anything interesting about the Berlin Wall coming down?
Even though the wall, the literal wall, was moved, the invisible wall remained, because the real division among people still exists today. And so we knew that was a great visual picture story. But you can't tear walls down in everybody's heart. And so we thought how great that would be if we could remove the invisible wall.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It was really interesting. Hey, thank you so much.